He obtained photographs, and they determined that this, what he calls launch ship, was 330 feet long and 130 feet across. And the cattle rancher named Gomez, and he went back to this location, which is a mesa, and saw a surveillance vehicle which was about 5 feet by 10 feet, like a satellite, he said. He had been using a Polaroid camera and then got a Hasselblad to produce much better pictures. He set up a monitoring station and observed that UFOs are all over the area. He's also been able to pick up signals and obtain video pictures that are transmissions from the aliens' screens. He's been dealing heavily with a Major Edwards somebody who's with Monsanto Security, and the two of them saw 4 objects outside of a warhead storage area at a range of about 2,500 feet, and obtained movies of them. He now has about 6,000 feet of movie footage, of which 5,000 feet is in Super 8. The objects have the ability to cloak. That's his word. Cloak. It is C-L-O-A-K. Cloak, like the cloak and dagger, or to cover up. And he says that they can cause themselves to go invisible by a field that causes the light waves to bend around the object, and then one sees merely the sky behind them. He confirmed the fact that the woman was picked up when she accidentally observed the calf being abducted. He has paid for pathology work and a medical doctor's work. The pathologist is a former head of the microbiology department at New Mexico University. They have done CAT scans that show that the woman and her son did in fact have implants in their bodies, and she has a vaginal disease like streptococci bulbi, as I think that last word is, and they have tried many antibodies to destroy the bacteria, but it has survived off of the antibodies themselves. The aliens keep hassling her. Paul kept the woman and her mother at his house, and the UFOs were flying overhead constantly. Said there's no ESP involved, but it's just plain physics. They beam down. They have a beam through which they can sense her thoughts. They can communicate through this beam, and she can pick up their transmissions. He devised a means of communication based upon hex ASCII code, with 1 equal to no and 2 being yes. And through this code, he's been able to talk to the aliens. He then computerized a system that would reject extraneous inputs. He says that they can be very threatening and malevolent. One of them, he said, he talked to, and they would drop off the communication if he became too familiar. he was told about the base. He then told the Office of Special Investigations of the Air Force, and he has been requested to give several presentations to high-level Air Force people in briefings on the subject, wing-level command, and many others, including this fellow Edwards. And he took a helicopter to the site. No. It turned out that the wing commander, after a presentation that this fellow made, then took a helicopter to the site and made photographs. He says that you can see saucers on the ground. He says there is a kind of a cone, a large cone, and the larger vehicles come and land on top of the cone, with the top of the cone fitting into a hole in the bottom. There's an elevator inside of the cone that goes down into the mountain or into the ground about 1 kilometer. You can see the aliens running around the base, going from getting into their vehicles and stuff, and he said they also use small vehicles to get around that have no wheels. They're rectangular in shape, and they levitate. They do not show up in color because they're highly reflective, but in black and white they're visible. He says that there are beam weapons that are floating in strategic locations, and that there is a road into the base. Obtained infrared photos of the area from an altitude of 1,400 feet. There is a gravel highway going into the area that's 36 feet wide. It is a government road. One can see telemetry trailers and buildings that are 5-sided buildings with a dome. He said it's standard military procedure. There are many guard points and stakes, and there are launch domes that one can see. In addition, next to a launch dome, he saw a black limousine and another at some distance off. The careful measurement showed that the limousine was the same length as his Lincoln Town car, and he says it's a CIA vehicle. Also, there was a blue van. These people, he has been cautioned about these limousines, as they will run you off the road if you try to get into the area. And in fact, somebody has been killed in that manner. To the north is a launch site. There are 2 wrecked ships there. They're 36 feet with wings, and one can see oxygen and hydrogen tanks. They're 4 cylindrical objects, Socorro type, 2 carrying something while flying. The whole operation is based upon a government agreement and a technology trade. We get out of it atomic ships that are operated by plutonium. The Cash Landon case was one of them. The doors jammed open and neutron radiation came out. They are based at Kirkland and Holloman Air Force Base and someplace in Texas. Said the government is paying the hospital bills for the Cash Landon victims. Refueling of the plutonium is accomplished at Los Alamos. He has traced pictures of this base back to 1948. It has been there starting in 1948. In pictures from 1942, he says you can see the many saucers and the base and trucks It was in winter time, and the road was passed off to the local inhabitants as a lumber contract. He has photographs, I believe he said, of the firing of a beam weapon that ejects in two directions, and that would be necessary on a flying saucer because the reaction forces would impede the vehicle. He has computed the speeds of the flying saucers at 15,000 miles per hour and indicates that the pilots are from NSA, National Security Agency. The aliens have had the atomic propulsion system for 40 years. And the saucers themselves operate on a charge, electric charge basis, having to do with a crystal semiconductor and a super lattice. I think he said that as you increase the voltage, the current goes down. Typically, he said, at present there's 6 to 8 vehicles, maybe up to 10, over the area, and sometimes up to 100. They can be seen in the clouds. They go into the cumulus clouds and produce nitrogen nitride. The nitride, you'll see a black spot in the cloud, and this eats holes in a cloud. So if you see the black spots in the cloud, then you can tell that the vehicle is in there. He says that they come from 6 different cultures, and in his communications that some come from a binary system, possibly Zeta Reticuli, and from distances up to larger than 32 light years away. They also have 1 to 3 ships in Earth orbit at 50,000 kilometers altitude. In his he had to form the words to try to communicate, and he produced a vocabulary of 600 words in a matrix form, and uses a computer. The flying saucers are limited to operation in the atmosphere. Now, with regard to the cattle problem, the aliens are using the DNA from the cattle, and they're making humanoids. He got pictures of their video screen. Some of these creatures are animal-like, and some are near human, and some are human, and short with large heads. And they grow the embryos. After these embryos become active about a year